Hey everybody. This time I'm going to use these little babies, which I like a lot. Oh, a bit much light. There we go. These little babies, the Tragic Royal playing cards. These are kind of fun. Face cards look really interesting. I want to show you something that I hope is close to what a real reverse Charlier is. I've heard of it. I kind of intentionally avoided learning or watching the videos about it. But I know that being as the Charlier goes like this, I thought, okay, if the packet comes down and is made to come up to the top this way, maybe there's a way to make the packet drop this way and have the same thing happen, just like that. So I tried to make it as simple as the original Charlier. So if this is the original and it comes up and it's done, and of course the variations that I do on this that I've discussed, like splitting it with a false cut and things, either way. Here of course I'm messing it up, so forgetting that, I thought, okay, I'll open the deck this way instead of opening the deck this way. And I tried to find a hand position that would do this, and it seemed that the best option was a position that let you open the cards up into the pinky to hold the cards back from sliding down, right? So if I held the cards in a classic grip, a mechanic or a dealer's grip, the deck, first off, is too far into the thumb. I can't raise this and get my thumb anywhere close. You know, I don't have tiny hands, but I can't, it becomes really hard to grab anything. I barely got a couple here, and I had to use my hand to shove it in. That's because the grip starts into the meat or ball of the thumb, or is that the ball? I forget. So I found that the easiest way to do this was in a grip where that nice little pocket that you have in your hand, that nice little thing if you cup your hand and whatnot, right there, use the backs here, right there was great, because I could get my thumb over the top. So if you imagine you're trying to move your cards away from your thumb so your thumb has a chance to get all the way up. You'd think getting closer would be best, but it doesn't work that way. You need to be further from the thumb to give it the chance to get at these cards, because ultimately we need the thumb to split the cards, to split the deck into two packets. So I said, okay, great. That's great. Oops. I can't catch my, in fact, I can't even get my pinky over far enough. I said, that's not natural enough. So what ended up happening was, I said, all right, I can't do a square like this. It feels really strange and you can't get around it. But I can match that nice angle that you get when you're curving your hands, and you can see it's, when you curve your fingers, it's this way versus straight along your joints, right? So I ended up with this kind of a grip because my pinky can swing free. They're in the pocket, and if they're up here, I can get to it. So it's like kind of like a really weird dealer's grip where the cards are down this way a bunch, in fact that way, so that if they're propped up, or if you're just holding them like this, they can be broken up the old Charlier way with your thumb, and because I was messing with it, and they drop evenly here. They drop evenly right into that squaring and retaining pocket of the third and fourth fingers. So the idea is you have them, and you know when you're in the right grip because your thumb is square over the top. You can hold them enough that they don't go anywhere. Anywhere else, you can't do that yet. It's just awful. So if you're holding it such that the 90-degree angle is going to go over here and basically, into that gap, and your thumb can get all the way over the top, this is an easy move. It's not, when I started doing it, it wasn't meant to be hard. I just heard of a reverse Charlier and I said, okay, what would that be like? Intentionally not looking at one on the internet. Didn't go and find one and copy it or anything. And I'm betting this is exactly the same thing that people do. I honestly, when I'm doing this video, been doing this a long time, and I haven't really gone to see what anybody else is doing in the way of this same cut. So we take, with that introduction, we take the deck in the left hand, take any number of packets the same way that you do with a Charlier, just by gripping this way and down until you're happy. Sometimes you grip all the way and then just start loosening until enough comes over. I'm doing it slow again, and slow doesn't let you do it right. So just hold my pack just like this. I get it to where my cards are sitting in the gap. And again, maybe I was holding it too far out. There we go. So I get it here, got my gap. They fall into the gap like this. Now I've got the drop that you get the other way with the Charlier. I said, okay, all I got to do is get this guy on top of this guy. Well, come to find out, if you just push up, your thumb eventually touches and secures both packs. In fact, it just takes two fingers to hold the split pack, and I'll put my fingers back in. Once you're here, it's just a matter of continuing to push, and now they're going to start sliding back down, and it's just a matter of them having enough room. You got to produce enough room here so they can start to slide down. Nice thing is, when they start to slide and you push, these cards can push it further into the skin, which is kind of flexible. And then you're back on top, and that's it. So I'm sure this is what people mean by a reverse Charlier. I hope. Well, maybe I don't hope. So when I do it, I come down, bring this up, let it drop, done. It requires virtually no squaring afterward. A lot of times the Charliers that I do, what's going on? There we go. The Charliers that I do, they do require that. Here I can do it nice and slow and deliberate. With the Charlier, you can do it nice and slow and deliberate, and it's clean. So what can you then do? Well, doing a cut like this, having the cards like this, we can do some of the other stuff that I did with the one-handed three cut triple Charlier, whatever it was. I'm still looking for a decent name. And we can get up to this point where we're ready to drop them, and it's extremely similar to what we had before, in that I can bring them down. I'm virtually in the same spot. The cards are just higher up. They're up here versus being way down low. I can now cut again with my thumb, bring this packet back up. Now, it's got to be far enough out on the fingers to do this, right? But I can bring it far enough up that they'll come down. The top packet comes back down again and over. So I could have done, that's like my cheesy three-way Charlier, right? So I could have done, like in a regular Charlier, where I split it and I bring it in. It's the false cut for the bottom stock. I could take a reverse Charlier, let's call it, and I could do the same thing, bring my guys down, bring this up, cut, you know, some amount of cards, and there's my bottom, and they come back down. So that was not a false cut, but if I'd have taken, let's say, this guy, one of the jokers, and I'll put the joker on top, and this is our weird double backer that you really can't use for much because it's got the gray and gray stock, but they meant well. If I then take this and I say, okay, I know that I retain bottom stock with the normal three-way, three-cut, triple-cut Charlier, but what happens here? So here's my guy on top. There's my non-color joker on the bottom. Well, I take it back in here, and I'm not really that good at taking and flipping around and, you know, to get into this position. I tend to want my other hand to help me get this into this position, which you can just do casually. If I split, I bring it up, and I just do a regular cut, I know that I'm going to mix both the top and the bottom. I don't have to test in order to do that. But I am curious, now that we're sitting here doing this video, if I do the three-way split like this, and I let it down, what is retained? And top stock was retained. So it looks like, whereas the other, these are some great cards. They're just funny to play with. They're only like $4 or $5. So let's say I had this guy on top. I guess I'm calling this the top. I do my cut. And, well, okay, that's the faces side. Let's call it the faces side, so that would be the bottom. Yeah, let me put it on top. On the top, if I do the cut, I bring it up, and if this guy goes down, I know I lose it, right? But if I do my little trick, which helps me with a bottom stock on a normal Charlier, will it keep the top stock on a reverse Charlier? The answer is yes, it will. Watch. I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to bring that down, and there is a moment where you want to have enough room here. The cards have to be back, like they're showing you and arranging it. I just about spilled them. Pack it down, and guess what? Top stock is still here. If I use the same method for the bottom, and I do that three-way false Charlier this way, the regular normal Charlier, let's call it, and I do a cut and I bring it down, guess what? Bottom stock is preserved. So, looks like this cut, reverse Charlier with the three-way triple cut, whatever you want to call it, will retain top stock, and I'll show that here. So again, in the pocket, cut down to the V, bring it up, come on, bring it up. So I've got all of them here with my thumb, and I'm going to cut again, put some down below, and this is where I really have to have this deck out here and bring it in. I'm going to keep that top stock. And there was that joker we turned upside down. So I'm sitting here basically refining how far up in the fingers I want to hold this second packet once it's dropped from here. So if I take these and I bank them back into my fingers, I've created a lot of room here, right? So now when I go to join them, much more room in here. And I need that room because I'm going to drop half of these. Because I'm going to cut, I'm going to drop, and then I'm going to bring them back and be done. So it looks like a regular Charlier, but it protects preserves the top stock. And that's my kind of halfway version of, did I turn a card upside down somehow? Yeah, the 3 ended up upside down. That's my weird version of that. And if you've seen it done different, done better, if I'm just taking it from somebody, it's okay. I just don't know who in the world to credit, because I haven't really looked at any videos or any drawings or any in any of my books. I've avoided the reverse Charlier because I really wanted to see how bad mine would be if I made one up. And I guess I really didn't do so bad. Boy, it's hard to get those guys out there, isn't it? So if you come up with a better one, if you've got a better way to do it, you can take it way out like that, and you want to show it off, let me know. If you have a better name for it, great. I'm all for it. As they say, nothing in card magic and card manipulation is original. Everything is based on something that's already been done. So I'm very humble. I understand that I'm never going to come up with something just playing around that hasn't already been done. So there you go. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next card.